What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Steffi says 4 disgusted words after Grace's miracle fraud for $1 million fails. Steffy Forrester may say 4 disgusting words after Grace Buckingham's $1 million miracle fraud collapses, as shown in the Bold and the Beautiful. At the moment, Steffi is too grateful over Liam Spencer's survival to dwell on the questions she had about his experimental procedure. Given that Steffi believed she was on the verge of losing Liam for good, that makes sense. Steffi has no reason to doubt Liam's medical breakthrough because Grace is a respected physician and John Finnegan's colleague. Steffi is ready to look to the future and simply accepts the miraculous outcome. Steffi, on the other hand, will adopt a very different perspective once Grace's deception unravels. Finn's investigation has made it clear that Grace provided fictitious scans to trick Liam into thinking his brain mass was real. Regarding all of Liam's pills that B&B fans saw him take, it's likely that he was given something to make the symptoms of the tumor get worse. Grace completed her scheme by persuading Bill Spencer to give her $1 million in exchange for a fake surgery that probably only involved cutting Liam's head. Even though Grace clearly felt compelled to do all of this, it doesn't excuse the lengths she went to because she probably had a lot of debt. When Liam's family thought he would suffer a terrible fate, Grace caused them so much pain. Steffi was terrified of living in a world where Liam was not present. Steffi will always value Liam, especially because he is Kelly Spencer's father. It was almost unbearable to contemplate Liam not being there to witness Kelly and Beth Spencer's development. Steffi will be furious as a result when Grace is revealed to be a con artist in the upcoming episodes. Steffi might get the chance to attack Grace with all her might at some point. That might result in Steffi uttering the 4 indignities we had hinted at. You make me sick. You can bet Steffi will unleash her fury and argue that Grace belongs in prison over this news, so stay tuned for updates on any consequences that might be brewing. According to the Bold and the Beautiful, the entire tumor truth about Liam will significantly alter this plot. Steffi Forrester allowed herself to breathe once more, relieved that the man she loved the most had been given a second chance at life from the moment Liam Spencer awoke from that so-called miracle surgery. His mind surprisingly alert, his scan declared 100% clear, and his prognosis glowing. She had grieved in advance for Kelly and Beth, the children who now had a father who could watch them grow up, and she had spent nights staring at the ceiling in the hope that she would never be able to hold him again. Steffi believed Grace Buckingham when she told her. Grace was a well-respected doctor and Finn's co-worker who had never hinted at triple dealing before. Steffi was too emotionally battered by the threat of losing Liam to look too closely at the fine print or too curious about how an experimental procedure could succeed overnight when all medical precedents said it couldn't. Thanking God and Grace at any cost was noble. After all, Bill Spencer had always maintained that Liam's life was worth $1 million, and out of desperation he paid. Steffi embraced the outcome fully, clutching Liam to her like a lifeline, forgiving the world for bringing them to the brink, and letting herself bask in simple gratitude, all the while unaware of the dark cracks beneath what she hoped was a happy miracle. After that, Grace's recurrent flashbacks to the moment she accepted the wire transfer, the firm but uneasy way she evaded questions about the procedure itself, and most damning of all, the discovery that the original MRI images had been fabricated. Finn's suspicions grew as he examined the post-op scans, spoke with Bridget, and reviewed the surgical protocols. He also noticed the gaps. Grace's excuse that fluid in the brain had clouded interpretation. The sudden absence of follow. Steffi's emotional switch flipped from gratitude to rage and from relief to betrayal as soon as that realization finally dawned on her. Steffi's faith was shaken when he came to the conclusion that Grace had only ever staged a ruse to perform a trivial scalp incision. That man she thought saved was never sick as described. He had been given pills to simulate symptoms, scans had been faked, and the entire scheme was a hustle orchestrated under the guise of medical compassion. There would be other scenes and pointed betrayals, but nothing could compare to that explosive moment when Steffi, with her voice breaking and tears in her eyes not for Liam's terror but for being deceived, looks across the room at Grace and says, "You make me sick." The weight of those words would carry years of pain of almost losing Liam, of fearing for her children's future, of trusting a woman who turned out to be nothing more than a calculating con artist. Steffi would likely demand Grace's arrest, insist on criminal charges, and threaten to expose every detail of the scam to the Spencer media machine, to the Forrester board, to the entire public. She'd express contempt not only for Grace's actions but for the ruthless breakdown of ethical boundaries, for the emotional devastation Grace caused to Liam, Bill, Hope, and entire families. She might even say that she is worse than Reese Buckingham. Grace stole hope, sold fear, and manipulated pain, while Reese stole a baby. And while some part of her may feel pity for Grace's possible financial desperation, it wouldn't excuse the depths she went to manipulate a man's life and a family's future. That moment when Steffy releases that 4-word verdict would mark a turning point. Leah may survive, but Grace's reputation, freedom, and career could die. In the upcoming episodes, expect heartbreak, confrontation, betrayal, and, if Grace's past serves as a guide, a courtroom showdown in which she will be held accountable for every penny she spent and tear she shed. Every other character in the story will feel the shockwaves reverberating from the truth, and Steffy will maintain her fury throughout everything.